The night air outside the theater felt heavy and warm, carrying the mixed sounds of traffic, distant laughter, and the low hum of anticipation. Inside, the lights glowed softly, washing the stage in gold and blue. People shifted in their seats, some whispering, some scrolling on their phones, all waiting for the next moment that might surprise them. On the side of the stage stood a small boy from the Philippines, barefoot on the cool floor, his toes curling slightly as if searching for balance. His name was not known to most people in the room yet, and his story was invisible behind the bright lights and loud applause. All they could see was a thin boy holding a guitar that looked almost as big as he was, breathing slowly, counting his heartbeats. He had no shoes because shoes were never a priority where he came from. His feet were used to dirt roads, warm sand, and cracked pavement. He had no parents with him tonight, not because they did not care, but because life had taken them away too early. Their absence was a quiet space inside him, a space he had learned to live with. Music had filled that space slowly, gently, like water filling a dry bowl. He learned to listen before he learned to speak, and he learned to sing before he learned to hope. Standing there, waiting for his cue, he remembered evenings back home when the power went out and the world fell into darkness. In those moments, his voice was the light. The stage manager gave him a small nod. It was time. The boy walked forward, each step careful and unhurried. The crowd noticed his bare feet first. There was a soft ripple of curiosity, a few raised eyebrows, a quiet question moving through the room. Who is this child? Where are his parents? Why does he look so calm? The boy stopped at the center of the stage, adjusted the strap of his guitar, and lifted his eyes. He saw faces, hundreds of them, blurred by light and distance. He also saw Simon Cowell sitting at the judge's table, arms crossed, expression thoughtful and unreadable. Simon Cowell had seen thousands of auditions. He had heard voices that tried too hard and stories that felt rehearsed. He was known for honesty, sometimes sharp, sometimes kind, always direct. When he looked at the boy, he did not smile or frown. He simply watched. The boy introduced himself in a soft voice. His accent was gentle, shaped by another place, another life. He explained that he would sing, Hotel California. A few people shifted again. It was a famous song, one that carried decades of memories and expectations. Some wondered why such a young boy would choose something so old, so heavy with history. The boy did not explain his choice. He did not need to. For him, the song was not old. It was timeless. He had first heard it through a neighbor's radio, crackling and imperfect. The melody stayed with him, winding through his thoughts like a long road through the desert. The lyrics spoke of arrival and confusion, of beauty and unease, of being caught between staying and leaving. Even without fully understanding every word at first, he felt the mood, the loneliness, the quiet searching. Over time, as his English improved, the meaning grew clearer, and the song became a mirror. He took a breath. The room seemed to lean in. His fingers found the strings, and the first notes rang out, clean and steady. There was no rush. Each sound had space around it. His voice followed, light but sure, carrying a calm sadness that felt older than his years. The audience grew quiet. The song unfolded slowly, like a story told by a fire at night. The boy did not perform for attention. He sang as if he were alone, as if the song itself was listening. Simon Cowell felt something shift. He had heard Hotel California many times, in many voices, but this was different. There was no imitation, no attempt to sound like someone else. The boy's voice was clear, unforced, honest. It held a quiet strength, shaped by loss and patience. Simon leaned forward slightly, his eyes narrowing, not in doubt but in focus. He listened to the spaces between the notes, to the way the boy let the silence breathe. As the song continued, the boy's memories flowed beneath the melody. He remembered sleeping under a roof that leaked during heavy rain, listening to drops hit the metal in uneven rhythm. He remembered holding his younger sibling's hand, promising things he did not know how to give. He remembered walking barefoot to school, guitar on his back, ignoring the stares. Music had taught him endurance. It had taught him how to wait. The audience felt the pull of his story even without knowing it. Some closed their eyes. Some felt tears rise without understanding why. The song's familiar lyrics took on new weight in his voice. Lines about mirrors on the ceiling and voices down the corridor sounded less like mystery and more like memory. When he reached the chorus, he did not push. He let it float, gentle and steady, as if inviting the room to join him without forcing them. Simon Cowell glanced at the other judges, then back at the boy. There was no doubt now. This was not about age or background. This was about truth. He watched the boy's hands move with confidence earned through hours of practice, through nights when music was the only comfort. He noticed how the boy stood still, grounded, as if rooted to the stage. The song moved toward its quiet climax. The boy's voice did not grow louder, but deeper. Each word landed softly, yet firmly. When the final note faded, there was a pause. It was not empty. It was full. The room held its breath, unwilling to break the spell. Then the applause began, slow at first, then swelling into a wave. People stood, clapping, some wiping their eyes. The boy lowered his head slightly, not in pride, but in gratitude. Simon Cowell stood as well. When the applause settled, he spoke. His voice was calm, measured. He did not praise loudly or dramatically. He said that the performance felt honest, that it respected the song while making it new. He asked the boy about his life, about his parents. The boy answered simply. He did not dramatize his loss. He spoke of his grandparents, of his siblings, of music. He said that singing made him feel close to his parents, as if they could hear him wherever they were. The gentle twist came in that moment. Simon Cowell, known for his tough exterior, softened. He spoke about how music had saved him in his own way, how it could carry people through hard places. He told the boy that sometimes, the hardest beginnings create the strongest voices. The boy listened, eyes wide, absorbing words he would carry with him long after the lights dimmed. When the decision came, it was clear. The judges said yes. The boy smiled, a small, bright smile that held both relief and wonder. He walked off the stage the same way he had walked on, barefoot and calm, but something inside him had shifted. He had been seen, not just as a story, not just as a curiosity, but as an artist. Later that night, alone in a quiet room, the boy held his guitar and thought about the road ahead. He knew life would not suddenly become easy. There would still be challenges, still days when he missed his parents so much it hurt to breathe. But he also knew that his voice had power. It could cross oceans. It could touch hearts. It could make an old song feel alive again. The theater emptied, the lights dimmed, and the echoes of applause faded. Yet the feeling remained, gentle and steady, like a song that refuses to end. Somewhere in the world, a barefoot boy from the Philippines had reminded everyone listening that music does not belong to the rich or the famous. It belongs to those who carry it honestly. And in that quiet truth, Hotel California found a new home, immortal once more, in a young voice that had learned how to endure, how to wait, and how to sing.